How's it going, everybody? I'm the best is, the best was, the best ever will be there, but none before me, there'll be none after me, therefore I am the one and only Jay Covey, and welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got an action-packed week this week with the news of the week, followed by your SmackDown Raw reviews, and then we go to a review of one of the weirdest Money in the Banks ever, Money in the Bank 2017. We got your drink of the week, followed by a reading from the Book of Rules, and then the Battle Droid of the week. But let's get into the news right now, as a surprising name has challenged Roman Reigns to a match. Gable Steveson has challenged Roman Reigns to an Undisputed Universal Championship match. You know, funny enough, I would like to see that. That would be a cool way to really debut Gable Steveson. Doesn't need to give him a big win, because you understand that they're not taking the title off of Roman for shit. But at the same time, you're understanding that Gable Steveson is a name to be reckoned with. So I wouldn't mind that. I would actually think that would be a very cool way to debut the new superstar. And is a former DX member going to AEW? Apparently not, but still it has been rumored for some time, and they apparently have been working backstage with Billy Gunn to bring in X-Pac to AEW. I doubt it's going to happen, since X-Pac, I believe, is still on a Legends contract with WWE, and I imagine he would have nowhere to go to AEW, since he has just been put in the Hall of Fame once again as a member of the NWO, so I doubt he will go to AEW, but hey, it would be kind of cool to see maybe have the Acclaimed having a match in the middle of the ring, and then X-Pac comes out to hit a Bronco Buster on somebody. That would be cool to see. And finally, is WWE going to get a new broadcasting partner? Well, that is the talks, as Amazon and Disney Plus want to broadcast WWE's pay-per-views and video library. I don't know what's going to happen there. It would be cool to see them on one of those platforms, because it would be, to me, easier than Peacock, and it's a more well-known streaming service than Peacock, but at the same time, I don't see it happening for Disney Plus. I would definitely see it happening more for Amazon Prime and Prime Video. That's just my 2 cents. I do not see that happening for Disney Plus. Let's move on to SmackDown. As SmackDown kicked off with Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman trying to figure out what Jey Uso is going to do. Is he going to join Jimmy? Is he going to join the Bloodline? What's going to happen? Heyman revealed that the Tribal Chief is grooming Jey to be the next Tribal Chief after Roman Reigns passes the reins down. Which I think is funny. I think Jey and Jimmy are actually older than Roman, so that'd be funny as fuck. But they also announced that Jey will have a United States Championship match in your main event. Jey accepted the challenge. Heyman then offered Jey a handshake, which Jey then rolled out of the ring for. We then got Santos Escobar versus Mustafa Ali, and what I consider the highlight of the night of the Santos Escobar and Mustafa Ali match. They had a great match. 2 cruiserweights really going at it and really just showing off what they can do. Santos Escobar was able to pick up the win and is now in the Money in the Bank ladder match. So you actually have 2 members of the LWO in the Money in the Bank matches of Zelina Vega and Santos Escobar. We then get Sami Zayn meeting with Jey Uso backstage, basically trying to warn Jey of, hey, this is bullshit, you gotta know that this isn't real, blah, blah, blah. We then get Kayla Braxton introducing the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, who are now part of the main roster. It was announced that they will be having a title unification match between Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. I believe it's supposed to take place in 2 weeks on SmackDown. This is a match that really would have been cool for Money in the Bank. So, just my 2 cents on that. We then get Bayley defeating Michin Mia Yim in the Money in the Bank qualifier. So now you have Bayley in the match as well as Io Sky. This could be a fun one. After the match, though, Scarlett would blow red powder in AJ Styles' face, and Karrion Kross would put Styles in the cross jacket, which I think is a way better move than the cross hammer or whatever it is that you have him use to put a lot of superstars away. Just my opinion. We then get Bianca Belair asking Adam Pearce to put her in a rematch with Asuka. Adam Pearce said just wait and see, basically. Asuka then came out to get a new title, the Women's WWE Championship. So she is the WWE Women's Champion. We'll see what happens on Raw with the other title. But then Charlotte Flair returned for the first time since WrestleMania 39 and said she doesn't have to wait in line and to basically challenge her to Money in the Bank. Asuka said yes. We then get Paul Heyman backstage talking to Jey Uso, saying that basically, Jey, here's your chance. Just shake my hand. And Jey said, if I'm in the bloodline, you ain't in the bloodline. So it's clear that Jey has problems with Paul Heyman, but I really like the pairing. I don't know why Jey Uso and Paul Heyman just for some reason always worked for me. We then get Cameron Grimes attacking Baron Corbin backstage. A little bit of fun back there. Kind of cool to see. We then get Baron Corbin having a match with Butch. And Butch would beat Baron Corbin pretty easily to contend for the Money in the Bank ladder match. So shout out to Butch. Butch is now in the Money in the Bank. Finally, in your main event, or actually we then get Io Sky defeating Shotzi, which I mentioned earlier. I'm sorry for the spoiler. To qualify for Money in the Bank. So Io Sky qualifies for Money in the Bank. And then finally we get your main event of Austin Theory versus Jey Uso for United States Championship. Pretty Deadly would interfere to basically help Austin Theory since they are running with him now. And then you have Jimmy coming in to make the save for Jey. Jimmy would then hit Jey with a super kick. Jey pushed Jimmy away and basically stood with Solo and Paul Heyman after losing the match. You would then have Jey then just walk away without choosing a side. So now you're sitting there going, alright, what's Jey going to do? Looks like the storyline's going to drag out to at least SummerSlam, where they'll have, apparently the talk is, the Usos versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Which also means then we do not get a Universal Championship match at SummerSlam. Yay. A not great SmackDown, in my opinion. It had one or two good matches at most. The main event was just chaotic mess. Did not enjoy SmackDown this week. If I had to give it a grade, C-, D+. Let's move on to Raw, as Raw kicked off with Adam Pearce welcoming Rhea Ripley to the ring and presented her with the Women's World Championship. So we have basically a World Heavyweight Championship for the women and a WWE Championship for the women as well. I like this because putting this one on Rhea Ripley makes it feel like it is not a secondary title, because I truly believe Rhea Ripley is a heavyweight, while Asuka is more of the WWE. You know, to me, it's very good idea, and I feel it validates it and makes actually the World Heavyweight Championship not feel like a secondary title like a lot of people are saying. We then get Cody Rhodes coming out to challenge Dominic Mysterio to a Money in the Bank, to a match at Money in the Bank, which Dominic accepted. Ooh, this is going to be fun. We then get Cody Rhodes versus The Miz. Nice match. Cody Rhodes would pick up the win. We get Becky Lynch versus Chelsea Green in an okay match, but Becky Lynch was also cutting a promo on Zoe Starks, which led to Zoe Starks basically coming out and basically saying, you say I have no personality. Well, that's the pot calling the kettle fucking black. We then get Damian Priest versus Matt Riddle to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Damian Priest would pick up the win, and Imperium would then jump Matt Riddle. So I guess that's going to be your Incarnate feud going into SummerSlam and Money in the Bank. Not a bad feud. I'm not mad at that one. We then get Ludwig Kaiser and Gunther challenging Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. This could be a good match. We'll talk more about it in our main event. This was a lot of backstage and just people in the ring, just talking. It was a talking episode of WWE of Raw this week. I feel that way. We think of Jinder Mahal cutting a promo and Indus Sher talking about Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. We think of Bronson Reed versus Ricochet and what could have been a great match if it didn't end in DQ. After the match, though, you had Ricochet saying he wanted another shot at Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed, he then had Shinsuke come in and say, "No, you're not getting another shot. It's my turn at him." You then had Ricochet saying, "We'll see who's left standing if it comes down between us." To make me think maybe they'll go to a last man standing match between these two? Very cool. Very fun. That would actually be a good match. We think of Finn Balor coming out to cut a promo on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins would come out, his music would hit, and the crowd would not stop singing his song. This guy is so over, it's not even fucking funny. Like, he's going to start giving Stone Cold a little bit of, like, run for his money and overness at this point. I mean, soon it's going to become like the what chance. How long can they keep singing the song and pissing everybody off? But they kept singing his song for like, I would say 5 minutes. And Finn would try to talk. And all I could think, I even tweeted it. And I had a couple good likes. All I could think of was the scene from Night at the Museum. Quiet! My dum-dum wants to speak. And that made me laugh my ass off. All I could think of was that moment. My dum-dum want to speak. And Finn Balor finally said, 6 years ago, you caused me the greatest moment of my career. Now I get to return the favor. And it was made official. It will be for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at Money in the Bank. We then get Finn Balor trying to talk to JD McDonagh. JD McDonagh might come to the Judgment Day. I wouldn't mind it at all. We finally get your main event as Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens versus Imperium. Good match, but it didn't really hold up to what I thought it could be. And Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens retain. Matt Riddle tried to interfere, but Gunther took him out with a kick. It's going to be a good feud, but at the same time, I feel like there's no question Gunther wins this feud. So, good Raw, nothing to write home about, but nothing bad enough. Just this week, I feel like Triple H is listening to people. That's what I like about him over Vince McMahon, because for a long time, it was always, yeah, that's going to end in Raw or SmackDown are going to end in brawls. That is what is going to happen. But he is truly listening to people, and now this week is just all talk. Less fight, let's talk. Let's see why we're fighting, which is something I like. I like when I love the story more than the fight. But at the same time, I actually do want an equal level. I want something that's gonna mix very well. Just my 2 cents there. Let's move on to Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank 2017. Now, this is a controversial pay-per-view, to say the least. It kicked off with the Hype Bros versus the Colognes. And pre-show, this would lead to the split of the Hype Bros later next week on SmackDown. So just want to point that out. It was an okay show on the pre-show. Just an okay match. 10-minute tag team match. Okay. We then get Carmella, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Natalya, and Tamina in your first ever Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. This was a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view, by the way, which I will explain more in your Women's Championship match. Carmella would win this match, but that's not what everybody remembers. Everybody remembers James Ellsworth climbing the ladder, unhooking the briefcase for Carmella, and handing it to her. Basically, a man winning the first ever Women's Money in the Bank contract. Yeah. This would lead to Daniel Bryan coming back to TV after being on hiatus for a couple weeks. And he would say that Carmella would have to defend her Money in the Bank contract again. And Carmella would win it again from help from James Ellsworth after distracting Becky Lynch. So Carmella would be a 2-time Money in the Bank winner and would go in to cash in on Charlotte Flair almost a year later, becoming one of the longest holders ever of Money in the Bank. We then get what should be an awesome tag team match. In this tag team feud is what I consider one of the best tag team feuds ever of the New Day and the Usos. However, this match is not remembered as such. It is full of botches of Big E trying to catch, I can't remember if it was Jimmy or Jay, off the top rope and just completely botching that move. Them trying to hit Iranagis or kicks and nothing working. It sucked. It really pissed me off that this match sucks, because when I was going to review this pay-per-view, I sat there and went, oh, this is going to be great. I remember that, and then I remembered how it ended. Via count out as the Usos walked away. This would lead to a Hell in a Cell match between the two, and it would be amazing. It would lead to a no DQ match. You would have TLC. These two would have wars, these two teams. And they were awesome. To the point of, at WrestleMania 35, in the build-up to Kofi Kingston getting his shot at the WWE Championship, you would have the Usos say, we had wars with the New Day. And he would wish Kofi Kingston, he would say, good luck, Us, we forfeit. You deserve it. So, it's amazing the mutual respect that was earned between these two, and it makes me wish that we still had these guys on the same show, because these are the guys you build a tag team division around. And WWE got that completely right at this time. This is the one thing from the show that, not the match, but the feud is one thing at the time WWE got completely right. We then go to your SmackDown Women's Championship match. I told you I'd get to this one. This would be Naomi versus Lana. Now, this is why I liked the single-branded pay-per-views. And I've said it many a time, and I'm sure people are going to be mouthing the words as I say it. Everyone got a shot at the title. Every title was always defended. The only one that wasn't defended on the show was the United States Championship, and that was because he was in the Money in the Bank ladder match. This is why they were awesome. And people were like, oh, it's too much pay-per-views, too much programming. Who cares? You get a pay-per-view almost every 2 weeks. And guess what? You get to enjoy it. And then when it's the big three, guess what happens? You get 3 pay-per-views a month. Awesome. That was fun. And when there's an NXT pay-per-view, oh my God, forget it. This was a time to be a wrestling fan. And yes, that means you would get pay-per-views like this. You would get pay-per-views like, I'm trying to remember a terrible Raw one. TLC. You would get those pay-per-views. But then you would get pay-per-views like Great Balls of Fire. You would get pay-per-views like Payback. Funny, a lot of the Raw branded ones are the better ones. You would get Backlash. You would get all these pay-per-views. And the only reason Backlash sits a little poorly in my mouth is because of the main event. Just want to say that right now. But Naomi would win this match against Lana. Lana would get 2 pay-per-view shots at Naomi, and that was awesome to me. that was smart to give her, hey, let's just show that anyone has a chance at the title in WWE. We then move on to your fifth match of the card, Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton for a WWE Championship, your second longest match of the night. Jinder Mahal would retain. The Singh brothers would attack Randy Orton's father, causing the distraction. This would lead to a Punjabi prison match at Battleground. Jinder Mahal retains. Let's forget this title run ever happens. Sound good? Sound good. We then got Breezango versus the Ascension. This was an ongoing feud with Breezango and the Ascension. This would actually, their mystery of trying to solve B's. It would be B's. They would start with the A's and lead to B. B would, for some reason, be behind everything. And this would actually lead to the returning Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, the Bludgeon Brothers, right before the Royal Rumble next year. Actually, right after Royal Rumble next year, right before Elimination Chamber. We then get Baron Corbin versus AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Shinsuke Nakamura. This was a very good match, and it would actually lead to one of the reasons why I truly do love Baron Corbin as a wrestler. As a character, meh. But as a wrestler, he is awesome. He truly is. Because he was the guy who would focus more on his... God damn it. He would focus more on keeping his opponent safe than making himself look good. There was a moment when Dolph Ziggler was going off of the stairs to attack him, and Baron Corbin saw he was going to land on his neck. So Baron Corbin made a quick decision. He said, I'm not going to let that happen. Catches Dolph Ziggler and turns it into a deep six. I love that. The way he attacked Shinsuke with the camera, he made Shinsuke look awesome even in defeat here. You would have Baron Corbin win the Money in the Bank ladder match. And he was a heel. It was perfect. But then he loses it because of backstage politics with John Cena. Makes you wonder what Baron Corbin could have been as a world champion. We'll never know. There's no way they put the belt on him now. If they do, it's unbelievable. I'd be shocked. But, yeah. This pay-per-view was so weird. And if I had to give it a grade, there was one, maybe the Women's Championship match, maybe. If I had to give it a grade, because of all the endings and everything, C-, D+, maybe a D at its lowest. And the only reason the men's Money in the Bank ladder match doesn't get put on this list is because of the way it ended up with Baron Corbin. Of him not getting to cash in and losing his Money in the Bank because of Cena. That's my reason. It's a cool pay-per-view. It's a cool Money in the Bank, but I wouldn't recommend sitting down and watching it. I don't think that it is as awesome as a lot of other Money in the Banks. The reason I chose it is because it's the first Money in the Bank I watched live, which was fun for me. Oh, God. I could use a drink. Let's see what the Melon Ball has for me. As the Melon Ball, Midori, melon liqueur, vodka, orange juice, and a melon ball skewer. So you are going to grab a shaking glass with ice, combine 1 ounce melon liqueur, or 2 ounces melon liqueur, 1 ounce vodka, shake well, strain to a martini glass, top with a bit of orange juice, just a bit, and garnish with a melon ball skewer. Doesn't that sound delicious, ladies and gentlemen? Doesn't that sound like something you want to go drink right now? Ugh. And that is your drink of the week. And now I'm reading from the Book of Rules. A message from WWE management to the superstars. In a ladder match, your only ally is the ladder. A reading from the Book of Rules. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Battle Droid of the Week. The Bow Joy of the Week is very simple this week because it's really been... It still pisses me off that people do this. The Bow Joy of the Week is the fans who fucking accost wrestlers at the airport. What the fuck? Come on, guys. Aren't we over this? Haven't we moved past this and tried to be better people? We're better than this. This is their private time. Whenever I meet somebody and I'm just walking around and I'm like, holy shit, there goes this person. If I see them stop and they're just not really doing anything, I just walk up and say, hey, big fan, thanks for the memories. And I just shake their hand. That's it. I'm like, thanks for everything. Have a good one. And I just keep walking. And sometimes they'll ask, like, don't you want a picture or something? I'm like, no, this is your private time. If I meet you at, like, a convention or at someplace you're supposed to be, yes, then maybe I'll take a picture and get an autograph. But no, this is their private time. They do not need you motherfuckers showing up at the airport waiting for them with a million things to sign. I saw it happen to Jeff Hardy, and this is just pissing me off even more. Why the fuck are you accosting people? Let them live their lives. This is why we get a bad rep. So because of that, you are the Bow Joy of the Week, guys. Those people who do that shit. Congratulations, here's your fucking prize.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. I have been the Big Guy. This has been Wrestling Made Simple. Enjoy wrestling this week, and I hope you guys are looking forward to next week's Wrestling Made Simple.